Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group. Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. I want to talk to you a little bit about a book that I just remembered. In fact, one of my coaching clients, it hit me today that he needed to read this book. So sent it over to him. And it was a book that I actually read probably a few years ago, but it definitely made a big impact. In fact, I think by the time that we're done with this podcast, you'll end up having the paradigm shift that I had after I read the book. So, but I'm gonna add a little bit of marketing savagery to it, and but the book is called Go for No. I definitely recommend any of y'all out there who got an Audible or you guys are listening to audiobooks on your Apple device or however you're doing that, to definitely check it out. It's only about an hour and 30 minutes. Or you crazy motherfuckers that actually read, check it out and read it. I actually say that, but I'm doing 75 hard right now. So I do read 10 pages per day. That's actually been really, really good. Normally I would just listen to audiobooks, but taking the time to read has been pretty good. So that being said, I'll talk to you a little bit about the premise behind this Go for No. The premise behind it is they actually did studies at quite a few big companies that had big sales staff. And these studies were done year after year after year, when they tend to see the same individuals winning the sales awards every year. So the end of the year, they have a big sales award, giveaway, and year after year, the same top earners, the same top salespeople would always be at the very top of these contests that they would have each year in these companies. So one of the companies ended up doing some research on it, and they actually started calculating how many times each of the salesmen, all the way from the bottom, the people that weren't winning shit, probably were going to lose their job eventually, all the way to the top performers. They ended up counting how many times they were rejected, how many times people told them no. The craziest fucking thing is that they found that the top income earners, the people at the very top that sold the most, that effectively got the most yeses, also had the most no's. So these people at the top were just out fucking hustling everybody. Meaning that they didn't have the traditional fear of rejection, that a lot of us face day in and day out. They found a way to mentally beat that. And the people that were making the most money, that were getting the most yeses, did not necessarily have the highest closing rate per how many people they contact. In fact, they had the most no's as well. They just talked to more people. They just offered their products, services, whatever is that they were selling to many more people, and were willing to withstand more no's than anybody else in their company. So one of the companies in the book, I can't remember the name. You guys can check out the book. Again, it's called Go for No. They started running a contest every year to who had the most no's. So they ended up rewiring the way some of the new salespeople would think, and said, let's not go for the highest sales. Let's go for the most no's. Let's go for as many no's as you can possibly get. Because at the end of the day, the more no's that you hear, the more people that tell you no, the more money you make. It's all the same. It's the way you wire the way that you think. So that being said, I want to add a little bit of marketing savagery on top of that. If you can combine these two elements, with really fucking good marketing, meaning that the definition of good marketing is repelling people that you do not want to do business with, while attracting the people that you do want to do business with, the people that are going to basically the people that need whatever it is that you offer. So you're repelling the people that do not need what it is that you have to offer, while you're just bringing a steady pipeline of leads coming in, people that not only need what you have to offer, but they want to specifically buy it from you. So if you can take this go for no thing, meaning that, get out the fucking way of that whole fear of rejection, people saying no, this and that. Like literally, the more no's that you hear, the more money that you're going to hear. But you can also combine that with really good lead qualification. If you can combine that with really good market positioning, and if you can combine that with an incredible offer, then you've got something that's big, is much, much bigger than just the book Go for No. But I thought some of you guys might need to hear that, simply because we have this idea that, our closing rate has to be super high, which ideally with marketing, you can increase that closing rate with the techniques that I just told you here. You start putting scarcity and urgency, you start putting some of the things we talked about in the earlier podcast, man. You just go through the podcast here. You start adding some of these elements into your offer. Your closing rate's going to go through the roof, but you've also got to have that mentality. You've got to have that mentality that you can go for no as well, meaning that you're willing to accept people telling you no over and over again, because at the end of the day, that's going to ideally not only produce more sales, but it's also going to sharpen your game. You're going to start hearing little common objections. And man, when you hear a common objection, guys, fucking write that shit down. Start adding, some weaponry. You know what I mean? Some, let's say some verbal weaponry to your sales presentation or your pitch deck or whatever it is that will combat that common objection before you even get to it, before the client even has an opportunity to use this common objection. You need to combat that and beat it down before it even gets to that point. So in a sense, you can use these no's to also sharpen your game to become a better and a stronger closer. So anyhow, that's it, guys. I just wanted to drop you this message today. I think it's super important for a lot of people to understand, unless you're a Jehovah's Witness, which it's so funny because I always said that Jehovah's Witnesses are literally probably the best people that you would ever want to hire as a salesman, because they've literally been rejected like door after door after door that they go knocking at, not to mention they're good people. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, but I can recognize definitely good people. And I've actually worked with a few of them and trained a few of them. And so that being said, or even, for instance, Mormons, Mormons go off on this thing where they're knocking on people's doors. I mean, how many times they've had the door slammed in their face? I mean, Russell Brunson's a Mormon, and he's one of the best marketers in the world. And I simply think that some of that, and I think he's actually had a podcast talking about that, where a lot of it was just that being rejected over and over again. Like once you walk up to somebody's house, like you're going to like somebody's house every day and you're trying to share the word of the Lord, with them, and they slam the door in your face and you're like, what an asshole is probably what you're thinking. And that happens over and over again. It kind of hardens you to where you probably don't give a shit if you're making a sales call and somebody says no. You probably try a little bit harder because you've got that that fear of rejection thing kind of out of the way. So anyhow, y'all, appreciate you for coming along on this What is today? Today is this savage fucking Thursday. And anyhow, y'all, appreciate you. See you on the next one.